weeks ago that provided a link to the draft residential zones. Again, the main features, we have some changes to the development standards, including we're asking for recessed garages, porches, and other architectural facade features as identified in the design guidelines that the ADC got to work on a few years ago. So a lot of this effort is it is largely a reflection of what was done in the design guidelines, except now it's reflected in our standards. So in addition to that, we have added design and performance measures to provide increased opportunities for flexibility in site design, and this can be achieved through a residential plan development. The other main feature, solar energy systems for new homes. This is something that we're going to ask for our builders to provide for new homes. There are also incentives drafted into the code for infill development. We really want to push builders to build on the vacant properties within what we consider our more urbanized area, as opposed to the continual leapfrogging development on the outskirts of town. We feel that this is really important because it really is a strain on the city's infrastructure and resources. So we're trying to provide some incentives to allow builders to build closer to the core of the city. And one of those incentives is added density. We will allow them to build more beyond what is typically allowed for an R7000 zone, which is typically 4 units per acre. If someone chooses to develop within what we consider our infill areas, we will allow them to go up to 8 units per acre. Also, add a feature for the residential zones, the provisions on accessory dwelling units. Accessory dwelling units, as inferred by the name, it's another living space on the property that's accessory to the primary structure. This allows people to build a structure in their backyard should the amount of area would permit for it. It's limited to 10% of the lot size. So say if you have an 8,000 square foot lot, you could choose to build an 800 square foot accessory dwelling unit that could be used to house your grandmother, your 20-something-year-old son that you don't want living under the same roof with you. You get the idea, because the response that we're getting is that from the public is that there's more and more desire to we're seeing more multi-generational households, and this would accommodate for those type of household arrangements. Also in the draft code, there's a live-work ordinance. The live-work ordinance allows for units that incorporate both living and workspace. This is only applicable to structures that front onto primary arterial streets, so Avenue L. And what this allows them to do is essentially operate a business out of the home. For example, there's an example on Avenue L. There's a chiropractor's office. The chiropractor lives there, but she also can use the unit for her business. And it's more of a transitional use where, say along primary arterial street, it's not the ideal location for just a residence, but when
Diddy we have there?
This is the time for citizens who would like to address the Lancaster Neighborhood Vitalization Commission on the agendized items. To speak on this item, please complete the speaker cards in the back of the room and up here at this table. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each. Thank you.
Okay. No speakers. Okay. Has everybody had a chance to look at the minutes? Oh, and you know what? I apologize. We have a new commissioner, Stan Mohammed. I apologize. So welcome to our commission. Glad you're here. Okay, I would entertain a motion to approve.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes.
I'll second it.
Okay, we can vote. Okay, looks like it passed. Oh, Stan? Oh, Linda, okay. You need to vote. Did you vote?
Sorry.
Okay, thank you. Okay. And now we have a presentation by Rossi Johnson with Youth Build. So welcome. Thank you for coming.
That was quick. I was speaking like a whole long thing. Thank you for having me, Commissioner. I appreciate the time to come out. I wasn't quite sure of the venue, so I'm underdressed, but so I do apologize.
You're
for
fine.
that.
You're fine.
But I am the Executive Director and founder of Antelope Valley Youth Build. We serve young adults 16 to 24 throughout the Antelope Valley. We have about 50 or 60 students that come from Lancaster area, and a majority of our students, 130, are from Palmdale area. We began our program in January 2007 here in the city of Lancaster with support from Bishop Henry Hearn, who was a mayor at that time. And so we began in a small church as a nonprofit program with 12 students, and we currently have over 140 students enrolled in our program. We are an affiliate of a national organization, Youth Build USA. In order to be an affiliate, you must have certain performance standards and outcomes. And so that's like you have to have a certain high school diploma graduation rate, certain retention rate, a certain attendance rate, certain placement into post-secondary education programs. And so we are considered a full affiliate, a nationally recognized and awarded program for retention and success on a national level. Our program serves 16 to 24-year-old males and females. So we are a co-ed program. We are a WASC accredited charter school through Youth Build Charter School of California. We are the only program in Antelope Valley that is allowed to serve over 19 years old in a high school classroom-based setting. So we're unique in that sense. We're able to bring back high school dropouts, or those who are way down in credits, back into a high school setting where they take the full complement of courses from algebra to all those things. And we have to take the CAS exam like any other high school in the Antelope Valley. So we are accredited. We like to say we are first and foremost a leadership development program. We want to help develop young leaders with the tools to be productive, active citizens in our communities. Lancaster, Palmdale, Corthill, Acton, all those areas that they come from. And so we focus a lot on self-development, personal responsibility, accountability, redirecting some of their energies that were took them off track, and helping them overcome those barriers. So we have to say, identify your barrier, confront your barrier, and then overcome your barrier. That's some of our strategy we have in our program. We offer in our program, currently we're the only program, youth recruitment program in the country that offers wildland fire technology, solar, construction, and we also offer CNA, Certified Nurse Assistant Program. All of our programs are industry-recognized credentials upon completion of our program. So we don't offer students any services that they cannot get credentials to take anywhere in the state of California in the country once they leave our program. We have our mission. One of our missions is to impact low-income housing. And so we have a mission to do construction. And so we go into the communities. We do in Palmdale and Lancaster. In the past, we've served the community by rehabbing homes for the community. In Palmdale, we rehab the neighborhood house for them. We're currently working on a 15-unit apartment complex will be supportive housing for our homeless students when they graduate. And so they do all the work from the plumbing to the electrical to the roofing to every piece of material that's brought on the site. The students do all the work. So they learn hands-on, they learn teamwork, they learn how to give back to the community. For us, those are very valuable too because their community they're working on to develop and to make better. Also, we have several grants. We received $1 million grant from Department of Labor for Youth Build, $1 million grant from Department of Labor for a reentry program for those young adults who are coming out of incarceration. And so we actually go behind the walls and begin our mentoring, begin our counseling before they are released back to Antelope Valley. And we found that's a much better success rate because we engage them before they get out. And so for that makes a much better transition for our young people. And so we focus on AmeriCorps, so we focus a lot on community service. Every month in our community, we do a community service project. Mandatory part of our staff does it, and our students do it. And so we try to identify those kind of projects our students can learn a trade, learn a skill, and give back. We recently did a Adopt a Block program in Palmdale where we adopted 4 streets, and we began to work on those 4 streets, cleaning them up. We do lawns, we work on knocking on doors, doing community assessments. What can Youth Build do for you is our motto. Our students' motto, our staff motto, and so we like to knock on doors and say for people, what can we do for you to help your lives better in this community? So we also have a lot of community partners, consider Antelope Valley Community College. We do a dual credit for our wildland fire program, and so our students take the program on our site for 12 weeks. When they graduate, they enroll directly in the AV College program. And from there, they get college credits, and then they go into a firefighting crew. We have quite a few students last year actually fought the fires in Washington and in Nevada last year. They were Youth Build graduates. We also partner with AVPH on the community service programming, helping their community clinic. We are a nursing program, so for us, our community service projects are done around nursing. It's done around community needs assessments, and so working with them in the near future on making that much stronger for our students. If they earn a certain amount of hours, they get scholarship money. It's education award. We want our students to go to college. We want our students to learn a trade. So all of our students before graduating are placed as somehow at AV College or a post-secondary partner within our own community. That's very important for us. We have quite a few graduates last year who are now working $40 an hour as solar technicians and work with the unions on becoming union members. And so we want our students to be successful, but we want them to stay here in the Antelope Valley. This is where their home is. This is where they belong, where we want them to be at. We want them to invest and have buy-in to be in here also. Our young people say, I'm bored, nothing to do in the AV. Well, there is. And so we want to make sure that they recognize that this is home and give back to your community and give back to you. Another thing is that we partner with New Beginning Outreach. We're paving the way in Janie Hodge. Also, Palmdale School District. We have actually a campus on one of their school sites. And Boys and Girls Club. And, of course, the City of Palmdale provides us with housing. And so we house, they bought us a 15-unit building, and we are going to house our students there next year. And so we like to say that we are a community partner with the City of Lancaster and the City of Palmdale. So we like to establish a more relationship better with the City of Lancaster as we've had one in the past. So. Any questions? That was my summation of our program in a nutshell.
How do you outreach to your clientele?
Well,
what is your outreach?
Well, actually, we found that it's better to do word of mouth. We have a website, but we found that students, we try to develop a strong family culture on our campus. We believe we do a thing called mental toughness every month. And so students spend 3 days going over life skills, communication skills, restorative justice, how you communicate with young people. And so they learn how to come together. We've had game room together. We talk it out, work on strategies of how to get along. And through that, they recruit those who are like-minded, we found. And so that makes for a better recruiting process. Every month, we have about 45 students who come in. And so they go through this 3-day process. Those who don't make it, they have to start over again next month. And so you have to, there's a dress code, there's no red, there's no blue, there's no sagging, there's no hats. And so we have a very structured program that is designed to instill citizenship, accountability, and personal responsibility for our young people. We think that's very, very important.
Great.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much. That was a great presentation, Rossi. So the name of this is Youth Build, and it's a charter school?
It's Antelope Valley Youth Build. We have what we call Antelope Valley, so we serve the whole Antelope. I'm going to make sure that's clear. It's Antelope Valley. We are a full affiliate of the national organization, but we're locally founded. So I founded it in 2007. We offer 5 C's, we like to say, to our program. Classroom education with our charter school. We partner with Youth Build Charter School of California. They're a WASC accredited charter school partner. And so they're able to serve any Youth Build program throughout the state of California.
Do they get a high school diploma if they graduate?
They get a diploma, yes, just like any other program in Antelope Valley. That's something by WASC accredited. That means that their diploma is good anywhere from here to Mississippi, just like any other high school in Antelope Valley.
So you have to adhere to the public school curriculum?
Yes, we do. We have a full complement of staff teachers. We have algebra teacher, science teacher. We have a English teacher. We have an English honors program. We do Spanish. And so students come in thinking that Youth Build is going to be an easier path for them because you only have to go 200 credits. But we ask you to do so much more. The career track is mandatory. You know, the high school diploma track is mandatory. Community service is mandatory. Coming to speak before a city council program, learning to be civically involved is mandatory. And so they realize that they don't have much time to get in trouble because they spend so much time with us at our program.
Okay. Do you have trouble finding instructors or teachers?
Oh, no. No, ma'am, we don't. We try to get, we believe in social justice, and so most of our students are interviewed and screened behind that foundation and philosophy, and we don't have any problems finding staff for our program. We recently had to add additional staff, a placement coordinator, with transitional counselors, we had hiring and teachers, and so we had a multitude of people come to apply for our program because we are unique in the sense of how we engage young people.
What's your classroom size?
We have about, well, because we rotate, it's about 15 to 20 students.
Okay.
But we rotate them, and so the students might spend, we go 9 to 4, Monday through Thursday. So they spend 9 to 4 o'clock, they'll spend traditional classroom settings. They might spend 2 days, a Monday and Wednesday in high school setting, Tuesday and Thursday in their CNA, solar, wildland, fire class. So we break it up. Well, if they miss, they're accountable for it. So to go back and make up those classes that they actually missed. And so there's classroom-based, direct seat, all the standards for high school as far as the concept they have to learn, the CAS exam, we do that on campus, and so there's no shortcuts on our campus.
Okay, last question for me. How long have you been doing this? How long?
January 2007,
January 2007?
yes.
Great.
Do you all do drug testing?
Yes, we do. We have a mandatory drug testing program. We have a thing we call self-select out, so we don't kick students out. They choose not to be there by their own behavior, so we call it self-select out. And so we drug test our students once every 90 days, or we do have our construction site program, our soda program, that pass a drug test in order to go into those programs. And so that's an incentive and motivation for them in order to get clean. Also, we give our students a stipend. And so they can earn $200 a month for 6 months of the program if they reach their standards, their own individual action plan standards. We believe each student has their own expectations, and so we judge them by where they are, not where we want them to be.
So you're doing case management service?
We don't call it case management, but yes, we do case management. We call it transitional advocacy. Once again, they're not clients, and they're not clinical. We want them to manage their own lives. So we believe in self-healing and self-responsibility.
Where is your primary campus again?
Palmdale School District, right across from Drytown Water Park. They call that Site 18. We're going to be moving to a new. We keep growing every year. We started out in, like I said, on the First Assembly of God Church on 20th and J, and then it was only 12 students, and then we expanded, and so we had to move to Little Rock at Bishop Hearn's old church, and then we went to Summerwind to another school, and now we're kind of getting more stable because we keep growing, and so we have to keep moving. But we are on an actual school site facility.
Great. Okay.
In terms of the youth in the community that is either on probation or have felony backgrounds, do you accept those type of clients?
Yes, we do, through a screening process. All of our students are screened. The way it works is that when they come in and want to enroll, they go through an interview. They go through 2 interviews first, no matter what their background is. We ask them all types of questions. Number one, it breaks down their communication barriers. So they don't know we're going to be in your business from day one. That's the first thing we try to implement that. And then from that point forward, they're interviewed by the panel of graduate students or students who are already there. So they'll be interviewed by them. We want to make sure that they know that it's valuable and it's exclusive. And so in order to get in, you got to work your way into the program. That's very valuable and important for us as our culture. But about 45 students are right now on probation or history of parole.
When is your next graduation?
June 28th. June 28th.
How many students will be graduating?
We average about 60 a school year.
60?
About 60.
Okay.
Last year we had 61 eligible, 54 graduated.
Okay.
We had the highest retention rate of all the youth built charter schools in the Southern California area, 75% retention rate.
Great.
I would like to come.
Oh, anytime. You can come speak to our camp, our students also anytime you like. We're always open. Every Friday is Leadership Development Day, so we ask guests to come out and speak to our students about their career paths, about life skills, about some ideas you have about community service and engagement. And so we want the students to know that people in the community care about them. And also we need mentors. So we want our students to have mentors. But I like to say, too, a lot of our students don't come from a background of having been on probation or parole. Most of them dropped out because they may have been teen parents, family members, they moved a lot, they come from a different area. And so most of our students do not come from a background of being incarcerated.
Right.
That's only a small population. We tell everybody that our students are non-traditional leaders who are now able to lead.
Great. Well, thank you very much.
Very interesting and very good presentation.
Yeah, great
Oh, thank you.
presentation.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you
Good to
very
see
much
you
for
all.
coming. Appreciate it very much.
Yes, ma'am. Thank
Yeah.
you. Oh, can I give?
Yeah, Rossi. If you want speakers for Career Pass, I have a speakers bureau at Kaiser.
They can offer any community service ideas you have for Lancaster. We definitely love it. We're very good with tools. They're all certified.
Okay, great.
Very
Thank
much.
you, Rossi. Appreciate it very much. Okay, next we have our Mariposa neighborhood update. And Brenda and Lee, the Brenda and Lee show. Brenda Lee?
There it goes. Okay, well, that's coming up. 2 meetings ago, we brought forward the Unite program to you, the calendar and the area. And the area is Mariposa and Desert View, part of Desert View. So today, the commission had asked for demographics, and then Lee is also going to be presenting the law enforcement and public safety aspect of the neighborhoods. So in bringing you the census information, the census tracts don't exactly match up with our zone. As you'll see, we're going from Sierra Highway over to 15th Street West, Avenue I to Avenue H for the Unite program. The census tract actually reaches out to 20th Street West. So you'll see the demographics still relate, but it is adding an additional portion. And I'm sorry, my allergies are acting up, so please bear with me. So race, the majority are white, 47%. In Desert View, the census tract on the left is Desert View, the census tract on the right is Mariposa. Mariposa has 41% white, and then black or African American is 21.6%, and about 24% for the Mariposa tract. The overall population for the two areas is 11,700 approximately, with 8,300 in the Desert View and 3,500 in the Mariposa area. And then if you break out the Hispanic and Latino population, you're looking at about 40% in the Desert View area for Hispanic and Latino, and the Mariposa is 53%, with white being 32%, and in Desert View, and Mariposa has 19%. And black African American is 21% in Desert View and 22% in Mariposa. And then other makes up 8% in Desert View and 6% in Mariposa. The age groups, there's quite a range. The children make up 35, almost 36%, and that's under 19, I'm considering children, or youth, I should say. And 40% in Mariposa are youth, under 19 or under. The total population for children is 4,361. The seniors only make up about 7% in Desert View and 6.2% in Mariposa, and that's 65 or older. The education, as you can see, we have a lot of education in the area. We have only 23% don't have a high school diploma in Desert View, and 24% in Mariposa don't have a high school diploma. But 77% have high school equivalency or above in Desert View, and 76% in Mariposa. College degrees, AA or higher, amount to 27% in Desert View and 12% in Mariposa. And as you can see, the graduate or professional degrees are 3% in Desert View and 2.2% in Mariposa. The households by type, we have with children under 18 is 43.8% and in Desert View, and 47%, almost 48% in Mariposa. And then I'd like to call your attention to the bottom line. Female householder, no husband present, is 21.6%, and in Mariposa, it's 27.6%. And that's relevant when we get to the poverty levels, especially. The housing occupancy, occupied homes is not bad compared to the overall city. We're at almost 90% occupied in Desert View, and 84% in Mariposa. And according to Gavia report for 2012, the Lancaster vacancy rate is 9.34% overall city for 2012. And you see we're at 10%, well, 10.5% and 15.5%. The renter occupied is 31, almost 32%, and 48, almost 49% in Desert View. So that is significant, as you can tell. We have in labor force, we have 60.6% in Desert View and 61.5% in Mariposa. And of that, the employed amount is only 51.7% in Desert View and almost 51% in Mariposa. So we definitely have an issue there. The people in poverty, this is where I wanted to draw your attention. The female householder with children under 18 is at 54.4% poverty level, or 54.4% of the people in that area are at poverty level. And then 69.2% for the Mariposa, and that's the mothers with children. Then neighborhood services. We do have quite a few services in the area that service both areas. We have the, as was mentioned at 2 meetings ago, we do have the wellness homes and impact homes. We have 3 in Desert View, and all of these have been in operation for quite some time now, and they're all providing a lot of services, after school programs, healthy programs, even teaching people how to mow lawns and youth to babysit. So we have the one at H5, which is the Antelope Valley Partners for Health. That's the wellness home, and a wellness home in Mariposa on Gadsden. And then Grace Chapel and 80 Christian are the churches that are doing the impact homes there. We also have a lot of church representation in the area or around the area that services those neighborhoods. And that's the listing for Mariposa. Although there aren't any within Desert View, the zone, there are some on Avenue I, and it's definitely within walking distance to the churches or bus. Grocery stores are more of a problem for us, having a full-service grocery store nearby within walking distance. Vallarta is the biggest market nearby for healthy products, but we do have bus service that's very local to them, and we'll get them to as far away as Walmart, both Walmarts, Food for Less, Target, Superior. There are, as you can see, a lot of liquor stores / markets, and they have some healthy products, but typically they don't have very many, and they market more for the grab-and-go products and also their liquor and their tobacco products. So we do have a little issue there, but not too bad because the bus system can get you there. And then Vallarta, I believe, also has their van that will come and pick up. And then the disabled and the seniors have access that they can take to and from places. And then they also have the bus service, the call up, and it's door-to-door service. Access is actually curb-to-curb service, so we're seeing a lot of them taking the ABTA system instead, but they are utilizing it to get all these places. Health, we do have obviously the wellness homes in the area. And then what's not up here is Kaiser. And this is an area that Kaiser helped us and Antelope Valley Partners for Health and the schools with the Heal Zone, which was presented to you by Jean Varden a couple of times. And so that is in this area. A lot of health is being addressed there through the schools, through the Kaiser, and through the Kaiser grant. And then again, Antelope Valley Partners for Health through their clinic and their wellness homes. In addition, transportation is available through ABTA as well to get to the Kaiser facility or anywhere else. In conclusion, there are a lot of services out there. What's missing are the home improvements, maintenance and repairs. So our Public Works Department is identifying the public works repairs that need to be done in the area, like sidewalks that are raised and are trip hazards. And they'll be hopefully addressing those during this program and getting volunteers to do that. And then also a lot of the homes are older, and we have some seniors and some people that are economically challenged. So that's where our true need for the Unite program probably is. And then the next steps, the survey was just done last March 16th, and I'll let Mr. Dorico talk about that. And once that survey is compiled, which I believe is already done as well, we hold the town hall meeting. So Patty Garibay is working with administration and public safety to identify what date still on that, but you'll have that shortly. And then let me turn this over to Lee, and then we'll answer any questions you have, unless you would like to ask questions now.
Have the impact homes, I know sometimes they do where they go in and, do a lot of things in the neighborhoods. Have they done that yet? In that area that you know of?
Yes, in fact, they've been operational for several years now.
Okay.
In that area. And when they opened, they did a survey of the neighbors to find out what their needs are. And they've actually conducted a few other surveys during the time. They have been working with the schools on a regular basis. They are getting feedback from the neighbors. They take walks out every morning when they open the house. They take walks and talk to anybody that's out in the neighborhood to find out what services they need.
Okay.
And that's how they found out that they wanted a knitting group at one point, just so that it was a social group that came to the home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Back home near 10th Street West and Avenue 5.
That's these impact homes that were listed, the 3, are in Desert View and Mariposa. So they are north of Avenue I, 2 to the west and 1 to the east. They're like H6. Let me get back to that slide real quick.
Yeah, they're actually
Yes.
operated though by the groups that they're dedicated to, like Grace Chapel, that's one of them, and AV Partners for Health. But they're certainly open for more program coordinating that with those groups that manage them. So we don't manage those homes, they're managed by the group that they're.
And they,
Commissioner, can I tour these homes? The reason I'm
Yes.
asking is notice there's a lot of activity here, 10th Street, West Avenue. I can address something. We have been, I've got a group of volunteers, mentors over there, finding out that there's a lot of prostitution, a lot of drugs. One of our goals is to clean that area up. Community in that area, the residents in that area, screaming out, crying. So if that home is nearby, maybe we can send some of those residents, stakeholders over there, move in particular over to that.
Well, I
There-
can tell you that you'll see here operationally what we've been doing for several months. That area that's impacting that's a long-term issue that we've dealt with before, and I'll talk about that here, but absolutely, anything we can do for mentorship and groups in the area, there's some specific issues. And I've seen the young men out there at 10th West, and I see them every day out there. Okay, and they're making positive contact with folks, anyone that comes by or driving by to get their attention. We have some issues with the recycling center right there by the gas station. We've had some issues with, you probably just saw recently, the The online casino thing that we just took down over there. So we have issues in the area that we have identified. I'll be able to show you statistically on where the impact is, where it was, and where it is.
Great.
And that's exactly, right. And that's exactly why we're following with the Unite program. So Mr. Dorico will explain what's been happening in the area so far and where we're going with it. And then the Unite program picks up after the sheriffs have been in there and cleaned the area. And we get volunteers and volunteer groups to bring projects to us to clean up the area and to help the whole situation. And as far as, one more thing, as far as the wellness homes and impact homes, they're always looking for volunteers. So, and they also, especially the wellness homes, are open if your group wants to hold meetings or anything on your own, but use the wellness homes, you just contact AVPH.
All right. Now, if there's any way to mess this up, watch. Okay, no, so just, let's see if Lee can figure this out. I'm not allowed to touch any computers or anything in the building, or the copiers. Okay, this is in Reporting District 1121, and if you look on the city's website, and if you look at our crime mapping, reporting, and things we do through ComStat and our collaboration with the station, Jim Cobalt posts weekly our crime stats for areas within the city. In our crime mapping program, you can pull up what our most active reporting districts are. This reporting district's unique because Howard, we've lived here forever. I've lived here since 1970. Historically, this area has had issues over time. When I was a deputy sheriff here in town, you can probably remember some of the 8-plexes and 12-plex apartment units that were over on Beach, Cedar, Corkwood, that we eventually just removed because of the issues that we were dealing there and the resource strain. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a snapshot from last February of 2012 through January of this year, okay, just to show you some trend lines. We actually started picking up activity in the area in December when we identified that as a group here through this commission on where we were considering some our next neighborhoods after our success we had in El Dorado. Again, the fact is we've done things operational in this area, but we've never done it from a community-based model like we're doing now, and I'm expecting to see the same results we had out of El Dorado and continue to maintain. So we'll do this up till the end of January, and then what I'll do for the next meeting after our town hall and when we have the survey in there, we'll look at what our successes are down the road by maintaining a presence there. So this just gives you an overall crime events for this reporting district throughout for the entire year. And if you look into our crime mapping program, you can see how we identify that. So each one of these icons here represents a crime, reported crime in the area, or a self-initiated activity by the deputies. A lot of your drug cases, things like that, will not be a call for service, but there'll be a deputy contact in the area of an individual or a car stop. And then out to the right, it actually breaks them out by numbers. With obviously you can see here that residential burglaries have been an issue for some time in the area, aggravated assaults, those type of things. Grand theft auto has been significant. So these are some of the reasons we identified this neighborhood. Also, you can see by the icons, if you see the larger squares, those are showing some of our business district representation there, as well as multifamily units. So this is always a good map for especially you as commissioners to get familiar with on that crime mapping program, because you can do that for your own residents. You can do that for if you get a constituent call in a neighborhood or concerns, or how with your real estate business and things as well. So if you have potential renters and they're concerned about the area, those type of things. Okay, so Brenda just went over a lot of this, but I think the thing that's significant is we identify communities as safe communities nationally through the FBI statistical gathering on any community that has less than 300 or less Part 1 crimes per 10,000 population. So even through this area, we are still under what's considered the national standard for a safe area, 266 Part 1 crimes per person, where the city's average overall, if you incorporate the entire city, is 279 for last year. So that's pretty good as you look at it, but as you'll see as we talk about statistically, some things will break out here. We still have some issues, just like Commissioner Muhammad just brought forward. drug sales is a huge issue. Okay, we have a lot of people who are involved in narcotics, not so much dealers, but more people that are users. Okay, so we've identified a lot of those type of issues. So this just breaks it out on basically how many homes are owner-occupied, which Brenda covered, renter-occupied. An interesting thing that the city did a survey back and right after we started the land cap program in 2006 and identified that over 60% of the crime that occurs in the city occurs in rental property. So part of the formation of the land cap program, as well as some of the things that we work through with our task force teams, is we want to address issues, especially quality of life issues as it relates to multi-unit family housing. So again, we have a significant amount of multi-family housing in this area. So as we look, and I haven't broken out the trend line, baseline for you, that blue line on the bottom, we didn't utilize that in this because we do that as a city overall number. But if you read this chart, what this is going back to February 2nd of 2012, and it's by week. Okay, so this is a crime frequency chart by week for that entire reporting district, which encompasses both Mariposa and Desert View. Okay, so you can see by that weekly number, you'll see the hips and valleys that are in this chart and shows our trend line up to those 52 weeks up to January. And the reason I'm pointing this out is when I come to my next presentation, I'm going to show you up to this point and where we are today after our town hall and everything over the last 3 months after we've had that significant influence, kind of like what I did for you with El Dorado, so we can see where we impacted this. So you can see in that frequency line is doing exactly what we don't want it to do, right? Okay, that green line that's gone up, but still if you look at it by the number, it's a still fairly low frequency crime. Robbery is in that area, and that's inclusive of all robberies, especially considering the shopping center and the things that we have there. Okay, assaults, this is the one we worry about, and we really concentrated on this, is our aggravated assaults number, as you saw on the first slide, showed a significant number. And that's a big issue because Part 1 crime aggravated assaults aren't your simple batteries. That's more your elevated level of batteries and assaults, okay? So assault with a deadly weapon, those type of things. As you can see, now our frequency is we're well around 1 per week, okay? Obviously, ideal 0. We want 0. That's really what we want. We're working towards 0. But 1 is pretty good, okay? And again, based on some things I'll talk after I talk strategies we've implemented recently, okay, to impact these things. And it's an educational process. Part of that is bringing things into the parental meetings. The town halls are great information for us to be able to deal with the parents of these young kids and influence the neighbors out there to look out for each other and form neighborhood watch groups and all those things that help us with these issues. Burglary is the other significant one you saw. Again, that's inclusive. This chart is inclusive of residential and vehicle burglaries, commercial burglaries. But still, again, per week, it's fairly low frequency considering the number of households in the area. But it's still on a trend line up, which is not what we want in this time period. Larcenies you can see this is all over the map. Okay, and larcenies are all your thefts, okay? Thefts from open and accessible properties. The shopping center has a significant impact on the numbers of thefts that we deal with in the area. And we'll get to the arrest data here shortly, but as you can see, even though we're having success, that number's still all over the map. There's no consistency to that. And then GTA is such a low-frequency crime actually in the city overall, but in this reporting district for the year it was significant because there was 29 cars stolen in the area. Okay. Now, I will tell you, in the Antelope Valley is an interesting place because we have people that don't like to walk places. So the majority of our vehicle thefts are from one position in the valley to another. Okay, it isn't like they're taking the cars out and stripping them down. We usually find them somewhere else in the community because someone was too lazy to walk somewhere. Okay, so that's the issue we deal with a lot. And I mean, one of these days we could break that out on actually cars that disappear long term or how fast we recover them. The majority of vehicle thefts we recover within days. Okay, so if you look at this is your arrest stats, and again, you were talking about the shopping center, right? And you can see right there at 10th Street West and Avenue I is at the bottom of that chart, and that the darkest color red is this arrest frequency. So you can see we can identify by the contacts by law enforcement where the majority of our arrests are made. okay? And we can break that out to what type of arrests they are, and I will tell you, most of them are narcotics related, okay? That's what we're seeing. This actually represents going back to when we really started to impact that area, and it's mainly on deputy contacts and self-initiated activity, and that's really what we want to see. In other words, it's better if we're making that contact with folks out there and identifying these problems with collaboration with the neighbors, identifying who the problem people are in the area and change that behavior, rather than responding to a call for service where something's already happened. Someone's already become a victim. So you can see as they break out in your report, this is actually a total of how these arrests were related. Now you can see with the traffic one, that's usually related to DUI checkpoints, people driving on suspended license or no driver's license in possession. But again, you can see where we've picked up for like robbery significant, low frequency crime, but we still arrested 7 people in the area for robbery related crimes. So that's how that breaks out. And then, I will give you the number totals, okay, at our next presentation on since we've been in there and what's happened with that. The arrest things is exactly what we want to see. You can see where we have spiked weeks where we've arrested a significant number of people in the reporting district, and then you see at the tail end as we're getting out to that end of this study period, we start seeing that number dropping significantly. Okay, that's because we're eliminating some of the problems that are occurring in the area. Okay. Now, on the survey, we actually had a great turnout on the 16th. The deputies came up from Cops Bureau for the Antelope Valley Crime Fighting Initiative, as well as city staff, volunteers, the young Explorer group from the station. We had probably 100 folks out there conducting these surveys and made contact with almost 300 residents in the area. So it was a great turnout as far as their input. That information's been compiled by Lieutenant Larry Gregg from the Sheriff's Department. We will be presenting that. I will get that out to you based on what they perceive folks do in the neighborhood or what their most significant issues are. I think if it's the Commission's desire, we address this the same way we did last time in the town hall meeting. Hopefully what we're going to hear at that point is kind of what we heard last time, that it's more of the quality of life issues that are the biggest concerns in the neighborhood. And I will tell you that since we've had a bigger presence over there, there's a lot more folks that are out and about walking around. Okay, it isn't where it needs to be yet. We're not even close yet, but we're going to get there eventually. There is a strategy in place right now. We have a commitment from the Antelope Valley Crime Fighting Initiative of their presence at least 2 operations a month, along with our task force programs that we have represented in the area. Our LANCAP team is working PM shift right now as we get into the warmer months, so they're going to be a lot more active on the nighttime activity. We're implementing a new strategy as it relates to parties and some educational things we're going to do for parents and students before the school year ends, because we have a significant number of teenagers that live in this area. Right. So we want to make sure we don't have a repeat of some of the issues we've been having at parties. So that's where we're at now. Now, at the next meeting, I'll bring to you the stats from the end of this month, from January on, and to exactly where we are through April.
Great.
Okay?
Yeah.
Hey, Lee, on the third slide you showed, I don't want you to go back because I'm not computer friendly myself, so I'm going to ask you to do that.
That's a challenge for me. You scared me there for a second.
But on the third slide, it was talking about robbery, and what caught my attention was there was an extreme spike on 3 different instances. Looked like it may have been anywhere from 3 to 8 weeks apart. Is there a reason why it's spaced like that, or just random?
No, robbery's kind of a random, opportunistic type crime, and the thing is teaching folks in the business community, how to harden their target. And what happens a lot of times is that it's kind of like our GTAs are similar. We have these spikes because we have folks that we have a robbery task force team. We identify them specifically because of issues we've had with robberies the last 2 years. Robbery is significant because it's the taking a theft from an individual by means of force or fear. So it's a very high level. If you look in the spectrum of crimes and how they rate, robbery is significantly high as it relates to sentencing and things, because it's considered a very heinous crime against the person. And the reason it kind of goes in that is just based on if we arrest people that we know are involved, or if we deal with, like especially with our realignment program that's going on right now, we have a lot of individuals that have come back into the area, and unfortunately, we don't have a day reporting center or other programs that are in process that we're going through the RFP right now, and people revert back to their old ways, okay? And it's unfortunate that it happens, and this area, because of the type of stores and because of the lack of, they actually have an armed security person now over in the marketplace over there, and I don't know how viable that individual is, but just because of some of the issues. Now, it could be a strong arm robbery, though. That's what I'm saying here. It's not, we haven't had a robbery in the area where someone went and put a gun in someone's face and held people hostage or anything in that neighborhood. Okay, but we've had some strong arm issues where sometimes we get the things outside, kids on their way home from school, and they'll punch some kid and steal his cell phone. That type of thing. That's still a robbery, okay, and that'll statistically be gathered in here.
How do we look at collaborating or instituting intervention and prevention services along with suppression in that area? And why was that particular RD identified for the work that you're doing?
Why, for our program?
No, why that area?
Well, historically, because of issues with crime, okay, because of complaints from neighbors, from a myriad of statistical gathering based on activity. We have done that. That's how we identify areas for that necessity. Now, the issue is community-based programs have been around for a long time, okay? How they're implemented in different communities is different. I've worked in a lot of communities in Los Angeles County. We have taken those resources from other places, not reinventing the wheel, and adapted that to our community. I will tell you the part of the problem is right now, and it's coming to fruition for what has happened with LA County probation, for example, that the realignment program's been in place for 15 months. The Day Reporting Center to provide job skills training and guidance and psychological services and everything to these individuals who are being released into the community haven't happened.
That's right.
Okay?
How do we make that happen?
It's happening right now. We, Brenda and I, have been deeply involved with Janie in paving the way and have sponsored her through the RFP process with the county and have met with probation on several occasions at this point to develop that program here in the city of Lancaster. Right. Lancaster and Palmdale are receiving the highest number of returnees from state prison in Los Angeles County comparably to any other region in the county. So it's very important that we have that here. Their initial discussion was to have it in the San Fernando Valley, which does nothing for us here. The other thing is there's a significant number of community-based organizations who say they're providing services to youth that we can't establish what their services are. So another thing that we're working on, I'm wearing my social worker hat right now, okay? Okay, is developing a program to identify what these community groups are doing and who they truly are servicing and what are their programs and how do they report out and who are they accountable to. Okay, so that's an issue that is discussed frequently. I will tell you that mentoring programs and things are excellent programs as long as those individuals that you have doing the mentoring have some qualification and have some degree of credibility, okay, because that matters, okay? So it's more of not talking the talk, but walking the walk, okay? So I will see that there's a lot of outreach that does need to be done in this area. We've had discussions about underutilization of parks programs and things as well that we would like to kick off in the area, but we have to make it safe for people to be there first.
Critical.
So there's a process in place. It's kind of like if you want to aspire and bring business to your community, you've got to have a safe community. If you want people to participate and be a part of the community and take an active role and ownership of their community, they have to feel comfortable doing that.
Well, count me in, Lee.
You're in.
Efforts, all right?
You're right here. You're in, and you guys are at the, you're at the top of the chart as it relates to these issues. And I think you'll enjoy the interaction at the town hall meeting. I thought it was great what we got out of the last one. I'm actually looking forward to this town hall. Okay, and again, it's always good to see how the people in the community perceive their community. We see it a certain way. I need to see it through their eyes.
We don't have a date for that yet, right?
No, we're working on that right now because I got to get the commitment of the sheriff's captain and our other elected officials, and so we can coordinate for everybody.
And who's doing the outreach in that RD?
We have
for the town hall.
Pardon me?
For the town hall.
We will do that.
Okay.
We will do that ourselves.
Okay.
Okay, and then we'll make that notification, and we do it a myriad of ways. And Joe, is Joe still here? through our communications department. I'll send my staff out there to knock on doors. We'll put flyers in the school. We have the phone call system through the high school district and Lancaster School District in the area to notify individual homes. We can do all those things.
Great.
We had a great turnout at the last one.
Really good.
Really good.
It was a
Yeah.
great meeting.
Standing room only. It was good.
Wow.
So,
I'll give this back.
Yeah.
I'll just stay here.
Thank you.
Nice job.
Thank you, Lee.
yeah, thank you very much. Look forward to your report next month, too. Okay. Okay, Patty, we're going to have an update on Asmopolis.
Asmopolis program. I have an update regarding the Asmopolis program that we've been talking about for the last couple of months. If any of you participated in the mayor's State of the City, you know how excited he is about getting the program kicked off and all of you working on that. Staff was working through a few issues, which I'm very happy to now announce have been worked through, and we're ready to get the process started so that we can bring Asmopolis here to the city of Lancaster. Our first step will basically be to host an informational meeting, and I know a few of you participated in an informational meeting a few months ago, but this is going to be at a much bigger scale. We hope to invite executive leadership, different people in our medical community who have, again, the leadership, the executive power within their organizations, and then also to invite those doctors who have some experience, some background in asthma, to hear from the Asmopolis group what this device is all about, how it can, bring a benefit to our community, what, it has the potential to do. So we hope to do that in the next couple of months. After we have that meeting, we'll do a follow-up and we'll create an advisory committee, which some of you will participate in. The goal of the advisory committee will basically be to create all the program details. So to figure out, how we select our program participants, what area in the city we're going to target, how we're going to get our wellness homes to participate in the program, and those types of details. After we've worked out through all those details, we're going to then launch the program, and we hope to do a really big, nice launch, hopefully a big press conference where we invite not only the medical community and residents, but the media to hear about this device and to hear about, how it's going to be a huge benefit to our city. And again, to that event, we would hope to invite representatives from the Asmopolis program to show how the device works and to get people really excited about the program. We're also going to develop a marketing plan, which will include a website where people can log on, get more information about the Asmopolis program, and where they can get, information about how they sign up for the program. We're very excited about the program, and we're hoping that all of you are excited about it as well. We look forward to working with you in the next couple of months to get this launched, and I'm happy to answer any questions you might have about the program. And Kelvin can also help answer any questions.
Do you know about the program, Stan?
No, ma'am.
Maybe give him a quick update on it.
I can give you a
I
quick
think you all know. We all know, right? Okay.
Sure, absolutely. I'd love to give you a quick update. So basically what the Asmopolis program is, it's a device that you integrate into your asthma inhaler, and basically it tracks every time that you use your inhaler. And the purpose of that is to figure out when the person is using their inhaler, what the weather conditions are like, what they're doing, to then help them determine how they can prevent asthma, so that they won't have to necessarily rely on that inhaler. They can just, figure out ways to not have it. So it's really it's an issue that's huge here in the community. A lot of people actually, for something as simple as that, they'll go to the emergency room because rather than prevent asthma, they'll get sick and then they'll have to go to the emergency room. So this is a way of preventing that. And so that's a little bit about the program, but I'm happy to meet with you afterwards to share more information. And it's something that the mayor brought down a couple months ago, and there's a lot of benefit that this could bring the community. So we've been working on it, and now we're hoping to get to the next level.
Thank you.
Great. Yeah. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah. Looking forward to the launch. Okay. Staff updates. City staff updates.
Yes. So let me turn it back over to Patty real quick. She has an announcement for you.
Yeah, and actually Kelvin's passing out an informational flyer about Mayor's Day of Recognition for National Service. You are all invited to next week's council meeting, and basically the mayor is going to present all of you with a proclamation, and it's for the Corporation for National Community Service. This is actually the group who put together the MLK Day of Service that we participate every year as a city, and then other cities participate in. But this day is basically created to recognize the community and volunteer work that happens throughout the city, and obviously you all know, through the Unite program, a lot of people volunteer for that, and we also have other projects and programs that are hosted here through the city and other community groups that host different things throughout the year, and it's basically that opportunity to recognize them and their efforts. Our goal next week will basically be to do just a short video which highlights some of those programs and to show the Unites and to show the MLK Day of Service, and then we'll follow that up with Chairman Derryberry just saying a few words about how all these volunteer projects have made a difference in our community and how they've impacted our neighborhoods and made our places, or I'm sorry, our city a safer place to live. So you're all invited, and again, that'll be at our council meeting at 5 o'clock next Tuesday, and if you have any questions about that, please let me know.
Thank you. Sure.
And then we have a few more announcements.
Okay, great.
So if you haven't heard, we had a very big win for the city. We won the prayer lawsuit. So as you know, we had prayer today before your meeting, and now it's legal again. Well,
good.
It continues to be legal, I should say. So very big win we're happy about. This Thursday night at 6 p.m. is the Jethawks opening night celebration. So if you're interested in going and supporting that, it's over at the Jethawks Stadium, actually Lancaster Municipal Stadium. April 13th and 14th from 8 to 4 is spring cleaning electronic waste and used oil over at the yard. So residents are invited to bring all their waste and, well, not all their waste, all their recyclables over to the yard. April 20th and 21st is the Poppy Festival, and we'd love for all of you to come support that event. That draws from all around, and that's from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday and Sunday.
And you've ordered wonderful weather for that day, right?
We're sure
Those days,
hoping.
both of them?
Yes.
Okay, good.
That's the only thing that's not controllable about that event. Yes. May 2nd is the Mayor's Prayer Breakfast. If you're interested in going to that, that's at the Poppy Pavilion, and we don't actually do that here, so you'd have to go on the website, and I can give that to you, but it's www.praylancaster.com, and you can get your tickets there. And that's from 6:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m.
Great way to start the day.
Exactly. And then April 6th, Saturday, April 6th, the city kicks off the first annual corporate challenge, which is a 5K run walk, and that's at the Lancaster Municipal Stadium. And there's many different events. Corporations and businesses and organizations are encouraged to participate and get your teams together for all the different events. And then also the Parks and Rec class schedule is out. So that's online for everybody. Or you can get it through the Outlook or at the Parks and Rec counter. And that's it.
Okay. Anything else? No? Okay.
Well, now is our time for the public business from the floor, and these are for your non-agendized items. We request that any person who would like to address the commission on non-agendized matters to complete the speaker card, and you will find the speaker cards in the back of the room on the back table. Additionally, we respectfully request that you fill out the cards completely and print as clearly as possible so that if necessary, the commission or staff will be able to contact you by phone or by mail. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each. When you approach the podium, please notice that there are 3 lights. The green light comes on when you begin, the yellow light comes on when you have 30 seconds remaining, and the red light will come on when your 3 minutes are up. We ask that you be considerate of the allotted time to allow other speakers to have their 3 minutes as well. Following this procedure will allow you a smooth and timely process for the commission meeting, and we do appreciate your cooperation. State law prohibits the commission from taking action on items that are not on the agenda. However, your matter will be referred to staff.
No cards? Okay, thank you. Any comments by commissioners? Anything? Well, Stan, welcome again.
Thank
Glad
you.
you're here. And I guess we stand adjourned. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.